Gonna go ahead and go live. All right, everybody, we are in the mix with Kasha Brown After Dark, and I have these amazing speakers with me here on today. Again, if any of y'all have earphones or earplugs, please put them in to avoid any type of feedback through the microphone. Please. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna introduce everybody and let them tell a little bit about themselves. Again, this is basically an impromptu gathering of amazing individuals in the community to address the current state of our nation right now, to address the senseless killings, to address the police brutality, to address the racism, the reverse racism, to address the importance of voting and just a plan of action, because we don't want to just address all these things without having a plan of action in place. Also, if you do have to cough or something like that that's being recorded, please do it off to the side and not in the mic, so we won't have that that back sound in the video. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start with Keisha Bradley at the top. We have Keisha Bradley. Keisha Bradley, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do?
So my name is Keisha Bradley. I work for AT&T 23 years and some change now. So I'm around a lot of diverse people and been a friend of Kasha since 1994, something like that. And I'm just honored and privileged that you would allow me to be on this particular segment.
But you also, aren't you like a journalist or analyst at AT&T, or what do you do for AT&T?
Yeah, so I write for AT&T. I do I think everybody is muted but Andre. So maybe that's where the feedback is coming from.
Okay, Andre, mute yourself until you get ready to talk.
Okay, got it.
Okay, there you go. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so I write for AT&T. I'm a journalism major, and what I write about in specifically, I support our diversity and inclusion efforts at AT&T. So anything dealing with, LGBTQ, disability, anything like that, and I also support what we're doing as a company on the corporate social responsibility front, whether it's disaster relief, volunteerism, it's all that type of stuff. So writing all the time. That's really what I do.
Okay. Mr. Hamlin?
Call me Mr. Hamlin. I'm a producer and engineer, a rap artist. I'm also a barber and a hairstylist. I'm also a father of 6 kids, a husband. I am a Christian. I believe in doing the right thing. I believe in speaking my truth. I try to teach other people what I teach my kids, because I'm a firm believer that if you want to change the world, it starts under your own roof, not the Capitol Hill, not the White House, nothing like that. It's not even the church. It starts at home. I just want to, I love helping people. I'm not going to say I'm very opinionated, but I'm very vocal on my beliefs and what I hold true to my heart.
Okay, thank you. Is it Nakia? I can't hear you. You got to unmute yourself. Miss Malone, unmute yourself. Just have to click on the button, the microphone.
Can you unmute her, Kasha?
I tried that. Let me see. I tried and it wouldn't let me. Won't let me unmute you. Okay, Mr. DJ, bring that beat back while we work on the kid.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, you guys. I totally apologize.
That's okay.
I was having some difficulties.
Okay, can you bring?
Actually, my name is
Andre.
My name is.
Go ahead.
Okay, Kasha, I'm sorry. Can you go ahead and ask what you said? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
No, I was gonna tell you to introduce yourself, but I was wanting to make sure everybody else was muted so that you can introduce yourself. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. My name is Nika Malone. I am originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I am a fashion show producer. I have a traveling fashion production. I'm also a fashion designer. as well as I'm a best-selling author. So I have a host of things that I'm involved with, as well as a domestic violence advocate. I'm also a mother of 6, so that was kind of funny to hear, a father of 6. And I am a grandmother of 4 with 2 grandbabies on the way. So I'm definitely a firm believer, an ambassador for God. I'm not ashamed of that. And I'm here and I'm present and I'm thankful that you chose me to be a part of it. So thank you.
Thank you. DJ, bring that beat back.
What's up, y'all? My name is Andre Thompson. I'm from Tyler, Texas, and thank you guys for having me. I'm a business owner, self-employed. I own a handyman service as well as a DJ service, where we do all different kind of have all different kind of features, as well as I'm an ex-police officer for 8 years. But just glad to be a part of this discussion today.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Casey.
Hey everybody, I'm Casey, media executive for over 23 years, pretty much done that my whole life, started my own firm about 6 years ago, crisis strategist firm. So for the last 6 years, I've represented professional athletes and high profile cases, helping them navigate that on a large scale. So some of the biggest civil rights cases that we've seen over the last 5 or 6 years, I've helped to run point on those as far as building strategy. The R. Kelly case, worked on that one, served as a partner to civil rights attorney Lee Merritt for about 6 years and counting. And just recently launched an organization, one of the founding members of Sisters of the Movement, which is a movement that was thought up by the sister of Botham Jean, who was murdered here in Dallas in his own apartment. And so we put together a think tank and got a call to action, and we officially launched today. So just to give you a quick overview of some of the women other than myself that are involved, it is the sister of Botham Jean, the sister of Terrence Crutcher, the sister of Sandra Bland, the sisters of Tatiana Jefferson, the sister of Delron Small, and the sister of Chantel Davis to start. Wow. We launched it today and have a very direct course of action. We're supported by Rock Nation. So I feel like we'll be able to get a lot of good work done moving forward. So thank you.
That's exactly what. Thank you very much for coming. I'm gonna speak with you all for a second, then I have somebody that's on hold. Then I'm gonna bring them in because we can't all be in at one time. I guess we're a real popular show right now. But I want to go ahead and just delve right in. And if you want to, I don't know, maybe hold a finger up or something so I know that you want to speak on the topic, let me know. That way we're trying to keep some order, I guess, with doing the podcast. So I want to pose a question to you all. What are some of the most pressing issues, in your opinion, that are plaguing the country or African American community? I'm going to repeat the question. I can repeat the question. You want to address it first? Okay. Okay.
Ignorance is plaguing the African American community. And the ignorant thought is that the African American community is lesser than the other communities that are out there. That's exactly what I see, what I hear. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I talk to people, and I'll talk to people of my color, of white people, and they'll be talking about somebody and they'll say Mike or Jeff or Sandra or something like that. But if they're talking about a black man, they'll say that black guy so-and-so, that black lady so-and-so. What does it matter? That's ignorance. You know, that's, to me, is the number one problem plaguing the black community, is the ignorance that people outside of the black community have towards them. I mean, they want to start throwing statistics out there. Like yesterday, one of the big controversial things I did in a post I made on Facebook was posted actual statistics that I didn't come up with, that I found, and posted them and shared them with people. And it was talking about how 24% of the people who are killed by cops that are unarmed are black people. and it is posted a lot of other stuff. But this white lady who was trying to say that black people are the small amount of people that are killed, that more white people are killed, she was the first one to chime in, and I told her, go back and read everything, not just
Right.
what you want to hear. Because what's crazy is how that 24% is crazy, because black people only make up 13% of the nation's population. So imagine if the percentage of black people in this country were equal to the percentage of white people in this country, those numbers would be astronomically higher. And it's just ignorance into thinking that, it's crazy, because all the backlash I got yesterday, the biggest majority, actually all of it, was from people from my own skin color. And to me, that's just ignorant. It's not, it don't have anything to do with whether or not I'm speaking up for the black race or anything like that. What it is I'm speaking on what's a universal truth. Right will always be right, wrong will always be wrong.
So basically what you're saying is that the ignorance of other races, or the ignorance that you've experienced amongst your race, or I don't want to say your people, but your race, in reference to black people, or their perception of what black.
It's not just white people's perception, it's just in general. Because I know people that are Hispanic that don't trust black people for no other reason other than they're black. I know white people that don't trust black people for no other reason than black. Now, on the flip side of that coin, I know black people that don't trust white people simply because they're white. And I don't agree with that. I don't believe anyone is born with the right to be racist. However, I understand why they feel that way. And
Okay.
and that's the biggest deal. That's where the ignorance come in, is people don't want to be understanding of someone else. All they want to see is what's going on and everything in black and white, but there's always more to the issues than just that.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Does anybody else want to chime in on that? What do you feel like? I'll ask. Okay, Miss Malone, what do you feel like is an issue that's pressing, in your opinion, the community? Let me see if I can unmute you. Figured it out. Okay.
To me, I feel like what's really happening is the mindset of the people that are in the community. Just being honest with you, we have to get in a position to not feel inferior of a white man or a white woman. We have to be able to feel confident in our areas of where we are. I right now, I live in a suburban area when I'm here in Minnesota, right? I also have an apartment in Dallas where I live in a very predominantly African American community where it's just the culture is very different, and it's all in the mindset. And because our mindset can't grow, we can't grow. That's what's hurting us. We can't keep repeating the past, because we all know if you do things in circles, that's insanity. So if we want to grow, and also, I'm gonna be honest with you, as Black people who have Black friends, white friends, we have to start holding our white friends accountable. We can no longer just allow them to sit in the room with us in private. You know what I mean? They need to be speaking. They need to speak out as well. I thought about this. I'm going to say this real quick and I'm done. I thought about this. All that we have seen, so many Black mothers have buried their Black sons. I have not seen not one white woman come out and speak about what she would feel like if she had to bury her white son. Where are y'all white women at? Y'all marry Black men. Y'all have biracial children. You can't keep sitting in silence, because your silence is considered racism to me, in my opinion. Because if you're doing nothing, if you're not doing nothing, then you're a part of the problem. That's just how I feel.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I want to just elaborate right before you get in, Keisha. Like, I have a friend that's a mutual friend of Keisha's. And were you going to say that, Keisha? Okay, well, I'll let you say it. Go ahead, Keisha, you can say it.
Well, yeah, like we have a mutual friend, Jill, and we've known her for a long time, and she loves people. in general, no matter what color you are. And she took the time out to send me and Kasha and another one of our Black friends a text that says, I stand with you. I'm not for this. And her spirit was genuine. But like Nika, like you said, we need more of that. Because I can tell you, I've posted things on Facebook and I try not to get political. But when I've posted something like Shelley Luther, if you all have heard about her in Dallas, who went to jail for opening her salon, and all
Yeah.
these white senators and attorney general said this is crazy. I would pay her fine for her. Would they do that for Lakeisha in Oak Cliff? Would they
Yeah.
do that? To stand your ground. So it makes you really think about having, and then my white friends, aside from Jill, they send me side messages in my messenger saying,
Your
hey,
messenger.
I in my messenger say, hey, I really didn't want to say anything about this, but this is how I feel. No, if this is how you feel, why don't you vocalize it on my post?
Yeah.
Don't hide. Don't send me a side text that says, Keisha, I'm with you and this is that. You my friend, you're with me. Make your voice heard. And that's what I appreciate about Jill, because she did that. She posted on her own page, I stand
Yeah.
with you. She sent us text, she commented, and we need that more from outside of the Black race.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Keisha. I was actually going to say what Keisha said. Andre or Casey, did y'all want to speak on that? Either one of y'all?
Yeah. I go through the same things. I have a lot of friends, a lot of white friends, and they do the same thing. They won't vocalize anything on Facebook. My main feed, my inbox, they do and
Yeah.
so
So that
it actually is teaching me a lot about who my real friends are and what they're on this whole situation are.
the character of that person. Casey,
Right.
hold on one second.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, that too. I echo all of that, but moreover, like I can't remember who it was. Somebody said they were a cop. I was a cop too. I was a military police officer for several years, and what annoys me is the lack of cops of color that won't speak out against Black cops. They know better. They're, anybody who's gone through any academy understand the use of force model. So for them to
Yeah.
sit back and not say anything is annoying. But I have been publicly calling them out. Unlike Keisha, I get very political on my pages.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You don't. You do. And the thing about that with KC, I can definitely say KC is not a person. I've known her for some years, and she's not a person of just commenting and hashtag this and let's go run, let's go jog. She's a person of action, and she makes it a point to make sure that she's actually at the forefront of creating action, peaceful action with results. You know what I mean? Because I think that what's going on, like me personally, like today was really like an unsettling day for me because I had a few people who were not of color and they were going back and forth with me on Facebook about certain things. And they were trying to justify like, okay, now Kasha, I have a Black friend or I have a this. That still don't justify what you're saying not to be ethical. Just because you have a Black friend. I'm a Black woman and I'm addressing you as a person like, listen, this is wrong. Now I'm gonna just briefly say their comment was about the looting that took place in your city, Miss Malone, the looting and the burglary that took place in your city. Granted, I don't condone stealing, theft, rioting, destroying property, especially in your own community. I don't condone that. But what I was trying to get this person to understand is that in the world we live in, there's a cause and effect to everything that we do, right? A cause and effect. I said, now, granted, the effect may not be the effect that people wanted to see, but the cause of it was the fact that this white police officer did some things that I was talking to my brother about that was, what kind of restraining hold was that? That ain't even ethical. Like the knee in the neck, like, and he wasn't even of a threat or anything, but that's a whole nother story. But that was our conversation. And I was very upset because I've been knowing this guy for some time and I thought him to be an upstanding gentleman of character and everything like that. And although we both have our own opinions, for you to say, I don't really care about that man, I'm just trying to get you to understand that it's wrong to burglarize and steal, then you just devalue me as a person if you don't care about that man. You see what I'm saying? So I did want to, did you have something to add to that though, John? I know you was.
Miss Nika, you were talking about how, everybody on here spoke up about white people that aren't stepping up. And, they want to send you little side messages talking about, hey, look, I support you. Man, I wholeheartedly agree with you guys. All right. As a white guy that stepped up, and I didn't do it so I can pat myself on the back or nothing like that. I did it because Andre's a good friend of mine. All right, first time I met him, we performed on the same stage. He's a good friend of mine. He's a guy I greatly respect. How am I going to call him my friend, my brother in Christ, but ignore his struggles? It don't make sense. I actually had friends of mine that called me saying, hey, I support you standing up like you did. Why the hell didn't you do it? If you support me, get out there. Do something. Make something happen. And then there are some friends of mine that actually went and they posted remarks about it. They posted stuff about this, and they were white people, and that made me feel great. One, it let me know that I'm not alone. But two, here's where having black friends versus black family comes into play.
Okay.
A lot of the people that will comment, they'll say, oh, I got black friends. And I'm sure y'all have heard it. I've got black friends. I've got black friends. But they're still not out there commenting. Here's why, in my opinion.
Okay.
I have very few black friends. I have a lot of black family members. And I don't just mean blood. I'm talking about people who I've been there for their celebrations. I've mourned with them during their times of loss. These are people who are welcome at my dinner table anytime. I'm welcome at theirs. We've grown up together. We've become family over the years. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of white people out there that have friends, but what there needs to be is a lot more white people. And I'm saying this as a white man because I see it from a first person perspective. There needs to be more white people out there that accept, embrace, and love the black community as family. Not just because it's the right thing to do, because you need to take the time to get to know each other and understand one another. And then that's when the change happens. My best friend on this planet is Darius Watkins, man. He's my brother. I love him to death. My kids don't know him by his real name. They call him Uncle D. This is a guy who, when his mom was diagnosed with dementia, I'm the first person he called because that's my mom too. That's what we need more of. Me and him don't see skin color. I don't consider him my black brother. That's my brother. And that's what we need more of.
And you're right. And with all due respect to that, before we try to, and I'm going to try to get everybody in. I know we're limited on time. I'm trying to make it quick as possible. But that's the thing. I feel like, a lot of racism is deep rooted. So I think someone commented and I pinned it, and her name is Tiana Allen. She said most don't speak up because racism is alive and well in their families. And I know a few people like that, i.e. the gentleman I'm speaking of. He literally was talking about somebody he was supposed to on his Facebook page. And I guess since the guy did not agree with him, because they were both white guys, and the one guy was agreeing with me and whomever else, the fact that it was really wrong for the officer to, kill the guy. So the other guy began to just out him racially, like, you know what? You weren't saying that the other day when you were using the N-word. You were using the N-word, multiple times. You always use the N-word, but now you want to speak up on behalf of this black guy. And I was like, wow. You know what I mean? So yeah, we can talk about coming on here and addressing certain things, because some people address them just to get heard. But actually, when you're actually in the skin of a person, long story short, I was pulled over this past weekend, right? So I don't get pulled over. So I was nervous and I was scared. I don't do nothing to get pulled over, and I don't know why I got pulled over. But long story short, I was pulled over. It was on a dark road here in California. And I called my friend right away. It was like 2 a.m. I called my friend. I'm like, just be on the phone. I just got pulled over. I don't know why. And I'm nervous. And so the police officer comes to the window, roll your window down. My hands on the steering wheel. I'm shaking. He goes, he goes, the reason why I pulled you over is because I can't see in your car. I'm looking at him like, what? Because I don't even have dark tint. So then he asked me, what are you doing in this neighborhood? I was like, well, I live like right there. I had just left my apartment. But my point is that of course it could have went either way, because if there's a way to address officers, of course, whenever you're, in order to not escalate the situation. But I feel like even though I still was being nice and respectful, I was still scared. Like, what if he tells me to reach for my driver's license, which he did, and I reached for it without thinking of asking him, could I do it? I could have lost my life, because I felt like, what if he would have said, oh, you made a sudden move, I thought you was reaching for a gun, and shot me? Because it's been happening. Miss Malone?
Wanted to say something real quick. About almost a year ago, this was a real life situation. I have 5 sons and 1 daughter, and one of my sons was coming home one evening. Police officer pulls him home in front and pulls him over in front of our home. He tells my son to get out of the car and walk backwards. As he's doing this, he has the light flashed, his flashlight on my son, so my son can't really see what the officer is doing. He's asking the officer, why are you pulling me over? What happened? The officer begins to say he heard a loud pop. Next thing you know, within minutes, we had at least about 10 squad cars outside. So I'm coming outside because I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? I don't want this to happen to my son. And the cop began to tell me that he was going to put me in handcuffs. I asked why. This is my home. This is going on in front of my home. My son, this is my son's home. That's my son. He put my son in handcuffs just to tell him I made a mistake. I apologize. I thought I heard a loud pop. They ran his name. They went through his car. My son has a Mercedes-Benz that is paid for. We live in a mainly white neighborhood. Down my block, what my neighbors have on their lawn? Black Lives Matter. But I don't know how many times I've really interacted with my neighbors. So it's just, we can go on all day about the copycats of behavior that we see. The like you said, John, I got Black friends things. But the truth of the matter is, we as Black people have to love ourselves enough. And what I love about Casey already, she's educated. One thing I love about her, she's making action. That's where I'm trying to be at right now. I'm trying to make action. I can't keep posting. I made a post the other day and I said, for centuries, as Black women, we have watched our Black men be tortured, beaten, hung from trees, and all kind of heinous things happening to them. When as Black women are we going to no longer say we can't watch? I can't look at this with my eyes. My cousin lost her children's father last night. That video has been circulated over and over and over again, watching him lifeless on the ground when this originated.
So he was, I want to briefly go into that. So hold that thought, because I was going to ask you about that a little bit later. Go ahead and bring in Talitha. What I do is I have people who I'm bringing in remotely that can't get in because it's already 6 of us. I'm going to let Talitha say something right quick. Talitha Kume.
Hey, you guys. My name is Talitha Kume, and I am a media representative for Food for the Soul Presents Media Group. And I just got on here because me and Kasha have partnered together on a lot of things, and this is just a really serious topic that we were talking about today. And Casey, I'm so glad to see you on here, honey. I'm so inspired by the work that you're doing, and I, like Nika, I've had enough. I didn't want to watch the video. When I did watch the video, I cried, and so my husband is sitting there watching me weep, and I'm saying, like, enough is enough. And I've been wanting to do action. I just didn't know what to do. And so now the platform needs to be, what do we do now? And that's kind of where I am.
Tracy.
I wanted to chime in real quick because I'm getting text and stuff from, well, I'm hearing now that they have overrun the 3rd precinct in Minneapolis, and it's on fire.
What?
Yeah.
So they've set the whole police precinct on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's This murder of George, in my opinion, and just what I've seen with the police brutality cases over the past 5 or 6 years, this is the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, I agree.
This is beyond. I want to kind of say maybe I remember a similar anger and outrage when Mike Brown was killed, but I think it will be the straw that has broken the camel's back. I was getting texts because Lee and those guys are out there, and so yeah, I just got an update saying that it's getting pretty violent. So.
Andre, thank you for that, Casey. Andre, you're muted. Hold on.
All right, there it is. I think the case more so much more powerful is this was sort of this was more like of an in your face type of a murder, where you can actually in the film you can actually see this cop with his knee. And by the way, I think it was the man that said that this maneuver that he used was in their policy that they shall not use the knee to the neck. So it was in the police policy that they cannot use that technique.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I think this one was such a big issue because you can actually see this cop. I mean, he had no feelings at all. His knee was pressed in his neck, and he had his other hand. His other hand was applying pressure to his knee to make sure that he was inflicting pain.
Right, because that was his goal to do what he did.
That was his goal.
He was lifeless.
Real good. You see him press his arm on his knee.
Wow. Thank you for that, Andre. Miss Malone?
I just want to say to people of Minneapolis, be tired. I don't condone the violence because that to me is really a lot of us tearing up in our own areas where we still got to live, where our children still got to go to school at. These stores and stuff that they ripped apart and burned. Let me tell y'all something. There was a new apartment building developed for low-income housing that they set on fire. That is not affecting that cop that killed George Floyd. That's not. And when the police, they did nothing. And they continue to do nothing, but they continue to provide protection to the cop that started all of this, because in reality, that's the truth of it. He started this. And
right.
Those that sat there and watched the other officers that did nothing, that none of them consciously thought, okay, let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's happening here. And I was out in those streets last night, y'all. When I tell y'all, I've never in my life experienced the anger of people to where they don't care what they're tearing up, burning down. They went into banks trying to steal, liquor stores. I was like, when I seen the liquor stores, I'm thinking they're going to become intoxicated and they angry. This is getting out of control. And then the FBI addresses this today. And you know what they tell us? It's still under investigation. They still are not arresting this officer. So while people are rioting and burning things up, it's not getting us anywhere, because guess what? He's still not arrested after a life was lost last night, after multiple businesses. Yeah, Target was one of them. Target is a major corporation. They'll bounce back from that. But those other stores, over 100 businesses, you all, that are aligned around the street of Lake Street, where all this happened in Minneapolis and South Minneapolis. That main strip is called Lake Street. It runs about 20 to 30 blocks down. This went on. And it didn't stop.
But the thing about that, Nakia, hopefully I'm saying that right, it's just the fact of when you get people that have all this anger and this discord, but no direction, no leadership, they channel it every way. They channel it everywhere. I think I talked to you about this earlier. I was like, do y'all have any type of activists or people there to help y'all, to help lead y'all in the right direction? Because if they out,
this is what you guys are seeing. A lot of those people that were out there are youth. They are people that are under 30, a lot of these people. And so in that era, we can't keep putting Jesse and what's the old boy name? I forgot his name that fast. He just came here today.
Al Sharpton.
Yes. The youth is not reaching him. They're not communicating with that. That's not a they're not correlating with what his message is. We need people of today, of the ages of 20, 25, 30. We need those people, 35, 40. We need those to be speaking up more to relate to the
But
youth.
but like yourself, you know, and I know my mom used to always tell me, you know, if you don't see the change that you need, be the change. And the thing about
I'm
it,
being
no, I'm not saying that you're not. I'm
no,
just
I know
giving you
you
an
are. I know
example
you are.
because, like, I know KC. There's a few people from Dallas that came from Dallas to your city to help out and provide that structure. Because the thing about it is, it's not a pointing the finger type of thing. It's a passing the
Right.
baton. Like we have to have people in place to say, okay, this is what you do. This is what you do not do. Because at the end of the day, life is still going to go on after the riot. What are you going to do after that?
And that's the thing. And we never, to be honest with you, Kasha, I don't even know who started the riot. Everything was going very peacefully at one point. And then all of a sudden, it's like I kept saying, was there an announcement? Like who actually started the rioting? Because that wasn't happening at first. People were just saying, I can't breathe. I want to be heard. That was it. And then all of a sudden it turned into a masquerade. It was a disaster. It really was. And I agree with you. We need to have great leadership in place so that these things can have. You do have a bunch of people with emotions, with no one
Yeah.
telling them how to articulate those
Channel it.
emotions.
Yeah. I'm sorry, CJ. Thank you for that, Miss Malone. CJ, did you want to chime in? I'm going to bring in CJ. He just kind of joined us.
Hey everybody, CJ Hammond, live in LA, vocalist, actor. But yeah, I guess I'm, you know, it's crazy because my perspective on this, I have a very diverse perspective in the sense of I come from a mixed background, biracial. Father was black, mother was white, and you know, this whole thing has really, I haven't been emotional in a while. I mean, I think I've become numb to it all. But somehow the last 24 hours with one thing after another, it led to me, as you've seen my post, Kasha, just I can't go with these people thinking that this can go unchecked. And I don't, you know, I don't condone looting or rioting because I don't think ultimately that's going to get anything done. I believe in a peaceful protest, but at the same time, I see protests in Denver, and it's all people of every race where I'm from, and they're all coming together. And so far, it's been peaceful. But when she just mentioned that the police station was burning, I turned around and I was shocked because this is real. This is as real as it's ever felt to me.
Yeah.
With what's going on, the racial tension that's in this country. And I think that a lot of, I mean, this riot, maybe it turned bad at some point because I think there's bad seeds in every crowd that are going to cause problems. I do believe that a lot of those people that are there at that riot have the best of intentions. I really, truly believe that. I do not think that most of those people want to start lighting fires and breaking things. That's a few people out of 1,000, but it's sad to me because the people that I'm trying to reach see this, the people that watch Fox News, and I'm sorry if anybody here does and they believe that but to me, that's what perpetuates this thing because they're showing us looting and rioting, and the people watching that see, that's exactly why. He was probably out of line. He probably said something to the officer. He needed to be taught a lesson, or whoever it was. It doesn't matter. We could go case after case after case after case of something where there's always a but. But what are the facts? And it's sad that I had to watch Ahmaud, you know, and with the whole jogging situation, I said, man, I shouldn't even speak on it yet because I don't know what the whole situation is. Because then maybe
Right.
it's a man that died, and I couldn't say that because I had to be ready to defend myself from somebody saying, but he did do this, but he did do that. That's wrong. It's a human life, and it's lost on us. So, yeah, I'll just give you guys that.
Okay, Keisha, go ahead. Keisha.
I think when I see the looting and the rioting, I think those are opportunists and idiots because you're right. They are not making the situation better. Some of them probably couldn't care less. I mean, they care, but they couldn't care less. They're going to Target. Let me get this. Let me get that. And it makes us as a race look really bad. And I just want to say to Casey and also to Andre, look, I appreciate you being cops. I am an advocate for the police force. And I know, hey, I'm a basketball referee. I officiate high school and basketball, high school and college basketball. There's some bad apples in the bunch, but that doesn't mean you have to get a rap for the entire police force because you're on it. Because I have a lot of friends who are police officers and serve, and they do the right thing and they're good people. But then you have these bad people who mess it up for everybody. So, burning up the precinct and all that's uncalled for. The looting is uncalled for and unnecessary. And I think that, when I looked at those videos today of the looting, it was just like, okay, yeah, they're about to play that on the news, show all of these mostly they're Negroes, but there were some other races too who were just out there trying to let me get what I can from Target, not even thinking about the fact you're destroying your own neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that, Keisha. Thank you for that. CJ?
I don't know if anybody had mentioned this, but it just drives me crazy of the double standard that exists when I know this for a fact because I've seen it and everybody else here has, but when a team wins a championship and then those fans, they go riot in the street and they don't say a word. Oh, they're just being crazy. They're just and flipping cars and causing cars and something are losing a life. And we look at these people like they don't have the right to feel just as bad, but over a life, not a sport. This is a human life, but it's the double standard that exists that drives me crazy because I know people have been talking about this rioting all day, but the fact is it happens, and it's white people and black people in different versions.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's the thing, and I see different people putting comments on the side. Just in case if y'all wonder why I keep looking to the side, because they're sending live questions and comments on the side of your screen. If you're able to catch one of them, please by all means raise your hand and address it. And the other people who are on hold, I'm just bringing y'all in as I can. I may have to take you out next, John, and bring somebody else in just to kind of be on screen. But I just wanted to just to tap in and say, like, how do y'all feel about the Black Lives Matter? Now, I know that, that's what we do when, something goes on. It's like Black Lives Matter. So what is your take on Black Lives Matter? I know that, Casey, you have a direct connect with some people who I think started it, Black Lives Matter movement. So, okay, John, you want to give me your feedback on that?
Yes, thank you. This is actually one of the things that I went over in my post yesterday on Facebook that stirred up so much mess is, yes, all lives do matter. Yes, blue lives do matter. All life is precious to me. All life is precious. So many people got so bent out of shape over the Black Lives Matter movement because they took it to think, oh, they're just saying my life doesn't matter. No, but I support the Black Lives Matter movement 120%. But the Black Lives Matter movement, and this is what I try to explain to people, and they're still so blind in tunnel vision, only seeing what they want to see. I try to explain to them the Black Lives Matter movement was not excluding anyone. The Black Lives Matter movement is simply stating, hey, our lives matter too. Stop killing us.
Yeah.
We have the same rights as you do. We are people just like you. Stop killing us. Now, here's with the riots that's going on. Y'all remember Rodney King? Okay. The cops that beat this man, hospitalized this man, unarmed man, all of them were acquitted, right? Found not guilty. What happened? The LA riots.
Yeah.
You think this rioting is bad now? Let me ask you a question. What do you think is going to happen if these cops get off? Mark my words, we're going to see this across the nation. We're going to see it, and it's horrible. I hate this type of thing. When I seen the riots coming on and the looting and all the buildings burning, man, it hurt my soul. Because deep down, I was praying that maybe this will be the peaceful music movement that has a chance to bring about change. And it killed me that this happened. However, man, something my grandmother taught me a long time ago, which she's the reason I feel the way I feel today. While I don't have a bigoted bone in my body, she taught me we're all here to love each other, not hate each other. She taught me you're not supposed to judge, but if you have to make a judgment call against somebody, make it because of their actions, because that will always reflect their character, not the color of their skin. But my grandmother taught me a long time ago, the longer you go treating a person like an animal, one day they're going to bite you.
Oh, of course.
They're going to display them animalistic characteristics that you've been labeling them with. People are fed
Absolutely.
up. People are tired of it. People are sick of it. I, for one, am sick and tired of the double standard that had with the police versus the general public. I'm fed up with it. If I was to accidentally kill somebody, it's going to be called involuntary manslaughter, manslaughter, or negligent homicide. All three are felonies in every state. I would be arrested on the spot, put in jail, given the opportunity to make bail while the investigation's going. I would not be sent home on paid leave and then fired later on, but still not arrested. Okay, so these guys were fired. So you're admitting what they did was wrong. Why are they not sitting in that jail that's burning down right now? Why are they not in there? You're admitting they're wrong. Why are they not in jail?
And
it's a double standard.
We understand your frustrations and some. Trust and believe.
I know it pisses me off because I do have some very close friends of mine that are police officers that are shining examples in the community that I mean, in a heartbeat, I could call them and they'd be here for me, not as cops, but as friends. And when I hear people talking about more cops need to speak up, well, there are some speaking up, but here's what's sad. In a lot of police departments across in America, a cop is not allowed to speak out like we wish they could because their jobs are in danger. Their jobs are in jeopardy for it. And that kills me because everybody like, well, they should quit their job. Why? These are good cops. We need them to set the better examples for the bad cops and help push them son of a guns out of there. Get them out from behind the badge because they're abusing their authority.
Okay, John, I see that you done took over. I can see the passion in your chest. I
hate that.
And I high five you through the virtual screen. We're going to get some more people in here. I'm going to actually exchange you out with someone. Thank you for that because that was definitely necessary what you said. And I definitely appreciate that. I'm going to bring someone else. Don't leave out. I'm just going to take you out for a second and bring someone else in. I want to say this before I go to KC. I don't think KC left, did she? I don't know what happened. Don't know what happened, but I want to say this right quickly. While there she goes. I want to say this right quickly. You touched on color, and I remember coming up, and my brother can attest to this. I'm going to take you out, CJ, and I'm going to bring DJ, bring the beat back in right quick. He can attest to this. But like our mom we used to always hear this. Let me find him. We used to always hear this. What do people used to always say? I don't see color. So we used to always go around like, we don't see color. We don't see color. And it was something that I was told is like, you have to see color in order to respect what another person, where they came from. Like, I have to see that you're Black to know and respect. I may not know the struggle of the Black person, but I can respect it. I have to know white. I have to know Asian. I have to know Hispanic and all the others, because I feel like once you know the culture, you can at least have a respect for it. You can learn about it. But to say I don't see color, we all see color unless we're blind. But I wanted to ask you, KC, did you want to speak on the Black Lives Matter comment?
Yeah, it's one of those things that, when that movement was first started, it used to just irritate the hell out of me. Now it's like I don't even entertain it. It's protesting the protest. How do you protest a protest? That's unconstitutional. And they say, oh, well, it's hate filled. No, we're not. No, I hate even having to address it. It's like the black on black crime, black on black crime thing. I don't even address it anymore because it's absolutely ridiculous. But, I had a troll coming after me today. He regretted it soon after, but was coming after me about the all lives matter thing. And no one is saying that all lives don't matter. I'm just putting emphasis on the fact that Black lives do matter because it's been proven that the majority of the country don't see, or the majority of the system which this country was founded upon does not see that. And it's so interwoven into our history that is very hard to unravel. And to be honest with you, and blunt, I don't see that happening in our lifetime. This isn't something that it took us, 400 years to get here. So I don't see the next 4 years bringing about much change, but we have to start somewhere and then pass that baton on to the younger generations that's going to carry it forward. And so that's kind of what I'm focusing on. But it annoys me as much as well, what about black on black crime? Well, black on black crimes are punished and prosecuted to the fullest extent of law. As a matter of fact, over punished. And, we can talk about the crack cocaine epidemic, the 18-1 sentencing, the Fair Sentencing Act. There's proof, there's historical proof that black on black crimes are punished to the full extent of the law. So there's no need for us to talk about that. We're talking about crimes that are going unpunished. We're talking about favoring those who wear uniform, those who traded in their hood for badges. And those bitches.
Say that again. Yeah. Say that again. Those who trade in their hood for badges.
Correct.
I think John commented on it before he stepped, or before I took him out, is the fact that the police don't say anything. Well, they have a code. It's almost like a gang. They have a code. It's like you don't speak on your brother in blue. Like if something takes place, you don't talk on it. You go to the grave with it. And they stick together, whether say for instance, if you're the person who wants to speak out, then you look at, okay, my retirement is going to be at jeopardy if I say something. Something's going to happen to me. It could happen to my family. Because I feel like I've heard someone say before, I feel like my life could be at jeopardy if I decide to speak out. I know that it was right for me to speak out, but is it safer for me to just stay with these boys in blue or speak out on what's right? And I just feel like that's the issue. And like people always say, even in business, it starts at the head and comes all the way down. Now, granted, we've all been seeing racism throughout the years. Of course, I know that I have, coming from the town that I went to school in. I ain't gonna even bring it up. But we've seen racism. But at this caliber, it's almost as if the cover has been taken off of what's been hidden. Like people have been just like revealed. Like I told my brother earlier. Okay, I got you. I told my brother earlier, I said, man, when this stuff comes out, whether it's politics about Trump or whether it's about racist issues, I said, you really begin to see people's true character. The ones who are like, oh man, come over to my house and grab something to eat, or let's do a cookout. Your good old friends. But when it comes to time for you to stand beside me and fight for justice or injustice, where are you at? Like Keisha said, or like someone said, they're DMing me like, oh man, I feel your pain, or I understand where you're coming from and why people do this and that. But where are you at the front lines making an example to other people who are not stepping forward? We have to make a change. What do we do? So let's say this. We've talked. I got you. I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna let you answer, and then we can go forward. We've talked about our frustrations. We've voiced our opinions. We've talked about Black Lives Matter. I mean, we're dealing with Mr. George Floyd, and we still haven't really gotten any resolve on Mr. Arbery, right? I mean, we still dealing with that. And so I say to you, after you answer your question, Ms. Malone, where do we go from here? Just like in a relay, we passing the baton. Passing the baton to do what? And I think Miss Casey has some tips of what she has in the works, and maybe she can kind of give people some insight on how they can go volunteer, or they can kind of start some things in their area. I'm gonna get you, Miss Malone, then I'm gonna get you, Talitha.
That's absolutely what I was thinking, is where do we go from here? That's where I've been pondering on for the past, really the past few months, is where do we start from here? So we do need some type of some leadership on that. For those of us that don't know how to go out in the community and begin to do things. I've been wanting to speak out in the community for days, but I'm like, do I need a loudspeaker? Like, how do I go out there? Do I need a permit? I mean, just being educated on what do I need to be able to speak out, because my message isn't about Black or white. It's about being unified. I have biracial grandchildren, so it's deep for me. I can't pick a side, to be quite honest. honest with you. So I would rather for us to be unified. And I'm with Casey. It may be a hard time for us to achieve that, but I think that if we begin to be more unified in our pursuit and the things that we are doing, we will have better action. Right now, we're not really unified. Yes, there are several different nationalities that are out there looting and rioting right now, but that shouldn't be our sole focus. While that is going on, it could be other people behind the scenes saying, look, these people are mad, they are tired, there's no help coming to them. We need to find a way. And like you all said, people came from Dallas to help us. Why is people coming from Dallas to help us? And we are one of the most wealthiest states in the United States. We are very diverse in Minnesota. I don't know if you all have been here or know that. The Mall of America is the biggest mall in the United States. So that speaks a lot to tell you the type of people that are here, that are going to college and everything else. So now what I'm asking for from all of you, tell me, what do I need to do next? Because I'm waiting. I'm willing, actually. I don't even want to wait no more. I don't want to take another week on this. I'm like, tomorrow, I want to be able to say, I started something. One of the things that I'm going to really start is an eyes wide open movement. Our eyes are wide open to the things that we are seeing right now. See, before it's like we were seeing it, but we weren't seeing it. Now you are seeing how people are hurt behind racism. And it affects us. It does affect us having Caucasian friends, you know, and like I said, my granddaughter's mother is white. We break bread together. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like we have to move forward in unity. We can't keep being like, just be black, let's just be white. We need to unify all nationalities right now, like everybody quarantined without a problem with the COVID for the most part. Let's come together for the murderism of Black people by white officers, because that is what is really stemming people up right now. That's what the problem is. We're angry about that.
Thank you, and we'll make sure that I connect you with Casey if you're not already connected with her before we get off the live. We got a little bit more time left. I'm going to get Talitha right quick before we bring, I'm going to take you back out and bring Casey back in, okay? Talitha?
And so before I get out of here, Kasha, the only thing I can think of, I think you and I, we were having the conversation earlier today, and I know you were pretty upset, but I want to see, where are the entertainers, right? I've been seeing them posting on their Instagrams and different things like that. But like Nika said, if it is the younger generation, what drives this younger generation, unfortunately, is these people on these records, these people on these videos that are telling them how to think, how to act, how to walk, how to be, all of that stuff. So to me, on the front lines, I don't want to see after the fact, but I want to see on the front lines. I want to see T.I. I want to see Killer Mike. I want to see all these people who are talking all of this stuff, telling us what to do on video. I want to see them out there in the riot. I want to see them telling the young people, if it's young people, whether they're 30s, 40s, young people, however you want to describe it. I want to see them telling us, okay, move this way, move this way, move this way. And, you know, and that's what I think is going to make a change. More of them standing up, not just hashtag you will be missed, or don't forget Sandra Bland, or don't forget. No, you be out there as well, because you have the money to do so. You have the money, you even have the connections to possibly make a difference. And to me, you're not. You might write a song about it, and then after that, then what?
Then what?
So that's what I think. I think a lot more of our entertainers need to be getting involved. And I'm talking front line, not talking about it, but be about it.
So start a charge, like basically, and I think that's a good idea. I may need to put a post out to a few people and see, like, you're right. Start a charge and get at the front line and start making some actions. Because I have actually spoken to some people about, and I know we probably won't be able to get into it much about the voting, because that's going to be really, really important. I've heard talks about, I don't really like Biden because of this, and he said this on Charlemagne's or whatever, the Breakfast Club. But at the end of the day, you may not like either president, but you have to vote the best of the two, because one of them is going to be president. Who's the better of the two? You know what I mean? So I want to say this. I know Talitha has to log off. Thank you for that, Talitha. I wish we could do a part 2. Maybe if y'all are up to it, one day we can do a part 2 on this. I want to say, Andre, and you can remove yourself, Talitha, if you need to go. I wanted to say, Andre, you created a song. Is it called Make a Difference? Right. What motivated you to make that song?
It's just one of the things that I was thinking about. I belong to a Christian organization called CMA, so I see different things, and being a part of law enforcement and being a part of a church, you start to see division in everything. There's so many different nationalities. There's in churches you have Baptist, Presbyterian, in gangs you have Christian. Everything is divided. The whole world is divided. Single account, everything is just divided. Division is just what keeps us all apart. And that's what we're dealing with today is division. This guy was raised the way that he was raised. He believes the way that he believes, and nobody's going to change his thoughts. My mother always taught me when I was small that there's three things that can get you in an argument or get you killed, and there's politics, race, and religion. Those are the three things that will cause the war. And that's just something that we're dealing with, and we have to figure out how to stop the division. Is huge.
Okay. Well, I'm going to share your video on my Facebook page when we finish, or you can share it on my page, however, because I think that video is very relevant to just basically saying that we need to be the difference that we want to see collectively, all races, not just the Black people. We feel as though we're being the most affected. So therefore we're trying to, like, I think someone just commented, when we have people who try to peacefully protest, like Kaepernick, they basically destroyed his career. So I think what has happened is that a lot of people, thank you for that, Chandra, a lot of people are just tired. They're tired of talking. Like Casey said, they're tired of Black Lives Mattering. Not tired of them lives mattering, but you know what I mean, the hashtag. They're just tired of speaking on it. We're tired of addressing it. We're tired of saying, see beyond the color of my skin. So now that we've addressed all of these things, we need to now start taking action. And I want KC to take a moment to kind of, if you don't mind, just kind of, if you received any type of updates from what's going on from your camp, as well as if you want to provide some email links, because people are asking, what do we do now that we're bringing light to this dark situation?
Absolutely. And I hate to have to run because that entertainment is actually part of our strategic plan. And so, as I was saying earlier, with this new organization that we formed with these sisters who have been directly impacted by police brutality, we are being supported and endorsed by Rock Nation. So there are bigger conversations being had. Nothing annoys me more than to see them talk about all the stuff after the fact. So the strategies and everything that we've come up with and the partners that we're working with is all preventative. It's all mitigation. We're not trying to fight for justice. We're actually trying to fight to abolish the systemic things that are in place that are causing the injustices. Otherwise, we're going to be chasing caskets. I'm sorry.
Wow.
And and thus that's not really moving us forward. So we have to be very intentional about how we protest. Protests can be in many forms. It can be more than just marching in the streets and verbally. So I'm helping women now learn how to get the lobbying licenses.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so we're building a specific task force that are going to focus on specific areas. And there's a lot of grassroots organizations like that. So we have an advisory board, civil rights attorneys, and retired federal judges that can assist in that. At the end of the day, and Andre can attest to this, in the military, it was all about outsmarting your opponent. And that's what pretty much got us in this predicament. We were outsmarted over 200 years ago. Wow. We fought to be a part of a system that was designed to oppress us. And, I would never know the civil rights movement, but what happened was we fought to be a part of a system that just had another way of doing what they had been doing 200 years prior, which is oppression. They're the ones making the laws and writing the laws, then they're just going to write the legalese against you. So nothing ever was really abolished. They just changed the terms. And so, once you get a handle on that, you kind of know the enemy that you're up against. You kind of know the opponent that you know the machine that you're up against.
Okay.
A friend of mine And white supremacy is not really a person; it's an organism. It just lives on. It just continues to move on from host to host. So in order to do that, you got to go down to the root and figure out how you got there. We were all talking about riots. Riots have been a part of the history of this country since the 18th century. Riots since the early 1800s. So we've seen this before. Through our ancestors, we've seen this before. We may not have seen it directly, but we've seen it before. So what we can do now, educate. We need to be, the six of us on this line right now, we need to be educated. And then we need to remain educated. We have to keep learning and keep growing. There's just not enough like minds right now. And everybody's so reactive. We need to shift that to more of a proactive. We need to be outraged every day before we see a knee in the neck. We need to be every day at the possibility of a knee in the neck. Not just at the actual action of that. We have to get in front of it. So our whole approach is to get in front of the hashtag. And that's what we've been saying. We need to get in front of the hashtags. We need to be 2 steps ahead of them. Everything it's not really the cops killing us, it's the laws that's protecting the cops that are killing us. We have to peel that banana back and see the citizens arresting. That's antiquated something from a long time ago that they're still holding on to for convenience so that they can continue to bail themselves out of the fuckery that they're putting us through. So, but it's by design, is what I'm saying. It's completely by design. They know that those rules and laws are antiquated. It's not applicable anymore. When the founding fathers wrote that shit, it was a different world. They never intended for us to be free when they wrote it.
Or intelligent or capable to do anything.
Right. So we weren't even documented as human beings. And we weren't even documented as humans. So when they wrote that, how in the hell can we still stand on principles that were written when we weren't even considered to be humans? And they're still standing on those principles. So when the civil rights movement happened, it was the biggest heist in American history, if you ask me. All they did was steal our freedom in another way. Oh, we're going to allow them to think that they're free and they're not oppressed. But really, we're just going to take the legalese and we're going to write these laws that are still going to oppress them in other ways, like the crack cocaine epidemic, like the influx of social services, the excessive sentencing, taking Black men out of the homes, thus leaving you in a community of poverty. Because you're now in a single parent home. It was all a strategy. They had a strategy. So now we need to have one that's that thought out. And so we've been trying to climb out of this for years and years and years, and the approach is all wrong. We're on the backside of it. We're reacting to everything. We're responding to recovery instead of prevention and mitigation.
Exactly. Casey, I want to give you snaps and claps, and I needed that. They needed that. And so let me ask you this question. So with that being said, and you're one of the people who I know that, like you said, that are actually putting things in place. We collectively have 6 to 8 people on this panel discussion, as well as people who are observing. Is there a way that maybe they can DM me or DM you and we begin to start some type of a coalition amongst ourselves, a diverse group of us we're in different states that can come together every so now and again and possibly start something in our own cities, our own states, based off of what we're talking about right now? Like, could you link them with your organization or however we can do that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's a collaborative effort and we just have to move smarter. We need to be moving smarter. We need to be moving strategic. We can't just keep throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
We have a real plan of action. And then we have to know how to execute that.
Yes.
And implement that, or else we're just going to stay on this rat wheel. So yes, Kasha definitely knows how to get in touch with me. I'm partnered with and linked to a lot of different organizations. So whatever city you're in, I could probably point you in the right direction. And then there are some national organizations as well that have the same mindset. We just now have to mesh everything together because we're working in the little silos now. We need one agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then we become the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons and we become the new age of that because we need to see that. I know I see you, Keisha, and I think CJ had something, and then John, that we're going to close out. I'm going to stay in touch with Miss KC. And then once I speak with her, then I'll bring the information back to you or pass the emails along to you and we can go from there. Okay, Keisha, and then CJ, and then John.
I just wanted to say something what Nika was asking earlier. How can she get help and things? And I just want to throw something out there to you guys. You know, as I said before, I work for AT&T, a huge corporation, a lot of diversity. In 2016, our CEO, a very white man from Oklahoma, Randall Stevenson, gave a powerful speech about going from tolerance to understanding. Okay, don't just tolerate things, understand people. And so what spawned from that was what we call days of dialogue. And that is, Kasha, essentially me going to lunch or me meeting with somebody who is not like me, someone who is a Muslim, someone who is of another race, just talking through, okay, tell me about being a Muslim, tell me about being a Buddhist, or tell me about you in general so that we understand each other more versus trying to say, oh, I see this really white man and he's red, he's right wing, or he's a white nationalist. I want to know more about you. And that
He's
has
a
been
person.
that has been very helpful for our company because it has allowed me to sit down at the table with people who I never thought I would
Looking on the
connect
booth,
with
I may have accidentally
and
taken on the booth.
get to know them as a person and understand this is why I'm a Muslim. This is why I'm a Buddhist. This is why I feel this way about certain issues. And it has been effective. So I just
Okay.
like to, just say to everyone on here, get to know people. I think I'm fortunate. I'm a military kid. The first time at 6 years old, when I was in Germany and I saw a black man who looked just like me but didn't speak a lick of English, that was enlightening. He was German. And so I think from that, I have experiences that have taught me that you need to understand people before you just stereotype them. And I went to an all white high school. And let me tell you
Me
something,
too.
that was an experience in itself to see the cowboy hats, the agricultural program, and all that stuff. But
Or eight.
what I'm just saying, what I will leave you with is go from tolerance to understanding.
Thank you, Keisha. Thank you so very much. And if you choose, you can log off as well. I know it's late in Dallas, Texas, so I thank you for your insight. I thank you for your contribution to this live, and we will definitely be revisiting conversation with you again. Thanks, friend. All right, CJ. Thank you, Keisha. Bring Casey back.
I have to step off after this as well, but I just wanted to thank you for having this platform because my heart was hurting, and it still hurts, but it feels good to know that there are other people that are in this fight. But one of the things that I know is that there has to be a change, and change is uncomfortable, and you have to let people know that they have to get uncomfortable with it. Like, it's going to be uncomfortable, and that's on both sides. I'm sorry for anybody, but you're going to hear, I've been called nigger. Like, and you people go, they tense up. Hear that. Watch the video, see things, get uncomfortable so you can really educate yourself. It's an empathy. But
Yeah.
for me, I just want to say that I live out here in LA. So if anybody's paying attention that's in LA, for me, it does start with the youth. I'm in a mentor program. I've been there for the last 3 years. We mentor kids down in Hawthorne, third, fourth, and fifth graders. It's called Engage the Vision. The program's been around for almost 10 years, if not longer. But for me, it starts with the youth because how they get brought up. Because we all know the educational system is not skewed towards minorities. It's not. They don't get the best books. They don't get the best coverage. So if there's anybody that's in the LA area that would be interested when schools get back into session, please do reach out to me. It's called Engage the Vision. But we're just a group of mentors that we call them kings and queens because that's what they are. We try to show them love because that's what they need. But if anybody's interested in a way to give back to the youth, specifically Black and Brown community, that would be a way that you could do that out here. And I'm going to have some more information about the Rodney King Foundation tomorrow if anybody's in the LA area.
Okay, and I'll share that too once you get it to me, CJ. I'll just put it on my Facebook as well, and we stay connected. We know.
Yeah. But thank you to everybody in here. You guys are all. I appreciate everybody was masterful. So thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank y'all. Yeah, thank y'all so very much, and I appreciate y'all staying up this late because I know it's a little bit earlier here in California. It's like 9:26, and y'all over here like, ooh, I'm sleepy. So in closing, if y'all want to give a one-liner of word of encouragement to someone else who's watching who may want to just continue fighting, could you please just keep it short and sweet and give us a one-liner? We're going to go Nika, John, Andre, then we're going to end it out with you, Casey, please. Just a quick one-liner.
Let's be active and let's be unified.
Okay. Andre?
Unity, change, unity. And it starts with changing ourselves.
Okay. All right, John?
It begins at home. Teach your kids now. They're the ones that'll be leading our future. They're the ones that'll be running the country one day. And Miss Fox, I've especially appreciated everything you said. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And Miss Nika, I'll be praying for your city.
Thank you.
Thank you. Casey?
Be intentional. Be intentional and pass the baton.
Be intentional and pass the baton. So we have unity in the community. We have it starts at home. We have the appreciation of individuals and their struggles. We have Talitha was saying we need to make a charge to our entertainers and actors to do more and to step to the forefront, as well as being intentional in what we do. I thank y'all for being with me after dark in the mix with Kasha Brown, a look at social injustice. Thank y'all and good night.